Fort Bragg, NC. App, the latest on the sentencing hearing for Army Sergeant Bo Bergdahl. All times local 3:45 p.m. Sen. Lindsey Graham says HES incredibly disappointed in the sentence Sergeant Bo Bergdahl received from a military judge. The South Carolina Republican, who served as an Air Force lawyer for more than 30 years, says Friday he has tremendous respect for the military justice system. But he says this sentence in my view falls short of the gravity of the offense. Bergdahl pleaded guilty to endangering his comrades by walking away from his post in Afghanistan. A search for Bergdahl left several U.S. troops badly wounded. A military judge ruled Bergdahl should serve no prison time but gave him a dishonorable discharge, reduced his rank to private and fined him. Graham says, an independent judiciary is the heart and soul of the rule of law, but no one is beyond criticism, The latest Sen. Graham disappointed in Bergdahl's sentence 2:30 p.m. A soldier who was wounded searching for Bo Bergdahl says the lack of prison time in his sentence is unacceptable. Scores of troops searched for Bergdahl after he walked off his post near the Afghan town of Mest. Prosecutors cited 2 missions that resulted in serious wounds to 2 soldiers and a Navy SEAL. One of the wounded soldiers, Jonathan Morita of California, still doesn't have full use of his dominant hand after bones were shattered when he was hit by an RPG, which didn't explode. Asked by phone about his reaction to Bergdahl's sentence, he said, "I've had better days." He added the dishonorable discharge means he can't receive any of these services like I can. He'll pay the fine like people get fined for illegal fishing. Okay, whoop dado. Referring to the lack of prison time, he said, that's the one that's completely unacceptable. It should have maybe not been a life sentence, but it should have been something, 1:20 p.m. Bo Bergdahl's defense lawyer has told reporters after sentencing that his client has looked forward to today for a long time. Eugene Fidel added, Sergeant Bergdahl is grateful to everyone who searched for him in 2009, especially those who heroically sustained injuries. Fidel told reporters that he looks forward to the appeals court reviewing Trump's statements as a candidate, which he appeared to reaffirm on the day Bergdahl pleaded guilty, October 16. Addressing reporters before Trump tweeted about the sentence, Fidel said Trump had already caused one of the most preposterous legal situations in American history. He said he looks forward to the appeal, adding, "We think there's an extremely strong basis for dismissal of the case, 1:10 p.m. President Donald Trump says a judge's ruling that Sergeant Bo Bergdahl will serve no prison time is a complete and total disgrace. The president's comment on Twitter came Friday, less than an hour after the White House declined to comment on the sentence. Bergdahl is the Army sergeant who walked off his post in Afghanistan and triggered a search that wounded some of his comrades. He was captured by the Taliban and held for 5 years, until President Barack Obama traded Taliban prisoners to bring him back. A military judge ruled Friday that he should not serve prison time. Trump issued his tweet from Air Force One on Friday as he embarked on the first leg of his trip to Hawaii and Asia. The president has long been a critic of Bergdahl. During the presidential campaign, Trump called him a traitor who deserved serious punishment, 1:05 p.m. President Donald Trump says Bo Bergdahl's sentence for leaving his post in Afghanistan is a complete and total disgrace to our country and to our military. The president's comment on Twitter came Friday, less than an hour after the White House declined to comment on the military sentence given to Bergdahl. A military judge in North Carolina ruled Friday that Bergdahl should serve no prison time for endangering his comrades by walking off his Afghanistan post. The judge also gave Bergdahl a dishonorable discharge, reduced his rank to private and said he must forfeit pay equal to $1,000 per month for 10 months. While campaigning for president, Trump repeatedly called Bergdahl a traitor who deserved serious punishment, 1:12:25 p.m. The White House says it has no comment on the sentence given to Bo Bergdahl for leaving his post in Afghanistan. Instead, White House officials referred back to a previous statement from several weeks ago. The statement said President Donald Trump expects all military personnel who are involved in any way in the military justice process to exercise their independent professional judgment, consistent with applicable laws and regulations. A military judge in North Carolina ruled Friday that Bergdahl should serve no prison time for endangering his comrades by walking off his Afghanistan post. The judge also gave Bergdahl a dishonorable discharge, reduced his rank to private, and said he must forfeit pay equal to $1,000 per month for 10 months. 11:40 a.m. A military judge has found that Bergdahl should serve no prison time for endangering his comrades by walking off his Afghanistan post. The judge also gave Bergdahl a dishonorable discharge, reduced his rank to private, and said he must forfeit pay equal to $1,000 per month for 10 months. The judge made no other comments. Bergdahl appeared tense, grimaced and clenched his jaw. His attorneys put their arms around him and one patted him on the back. Bergdahl pleaded guilty to desertion and misbehavior before the enemy and had faced up to life in prison. The judge had wide leeway because Bergdahl made no deal with prosecutors to limit his sentence. Prosecutors had sought stiff punishment because of wounds to service members who searched for Bergdahl after he disappeared in 2009. He was held captive by Taliban allies for 5 years. The defense sought to counter that evidence with testimony about Bergdahl's suffering during 5 years as a captive of Taliban allies, his contributions to military intelligence and survival instruction, and his mental health problems. 9:25 a.m. A military judge has resumed his deliberations on Army Sergeant Bergdahl's punishment for endangering comrades by leaving his post in Afghanistan in 2009. Jeffrey Nance called Bergdahl and lawyers for both sides into court briefly Friday to let them know that he was returning to his chamber to continue deliberations. He didn't give an indication of when he would hand down Bergdahl's sentence. The 31-year-old Bergdahl, who faces up to life in prison, appeared tense during the short court session. He clenched his jaw as if grinding his teeth, then grimaced and looked at the floor when he walked out of the courtroom. The judge began deliberating Thursday after hearing closing arguments by defense attorneys, who asked for no prison time, and prosecutors who are seeking 14 years behind bars. 2:45 a.m. Army Sergeant Bergdahl, who was held for 5 years by Taliban allies after walking off his post in Afghanistan, will soon learn his punishment after pleading guilty to endangering his comrades. A military judge began deliberating Thursday after hearing closing arguments by defense attorneys, who asked for no prison time, and prosecutors who are seeking 14 years behind bars. Army Col. Jeffrey Nance said he would open court again Friday morning to continue deliberating. It wasn't clear when he would dare the sentence. Bergdahl faces up to life in prison for desertion and misbehavior before the enemy. In closing arguments, prosecutors cited serious wounds to service members who looked for Bergdahl.